Scrappy friends, it is Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters, and today I am coming at you with a process video that was part of the Kitaholic Kits cyber crop that they ran back in January 26th, and the challenge this time was a mood board challenge. Now, normally I really suck at mood board challenges, just being honest. I find it really hard to stick to the colour palette, and I tend to get inspired by the colour palette and then totally go sideways, and it actually ends up looking completely nothing like the mood board. Now, I totally realise that that's fine. If it's inspired you to create, then what difference does it make? But in terms of actually sticking to the basic parameters of the requirements for the challenge, I tend to be really dodgy at it. But in this case, this 12 by 12 geometric pattern paper that I chose to use from Heidi Swap actually worked brilliantly. I could have added anything I want and everything would have pulled back to this pattern paper and I would be totally covered. So this layout is 100% inspired by the fabulous Melissa Vining. She made a gorgeous layout for the Hip Kit Club that was a completely different color palette, but the general idea of what she was doing here with the large circle and the flowers all the way around was 100% inspired by her. So I have pulled out the Jen Hatfield flowers and I am just filling those in as much as I can all the way around my circle. I also chain stitched the circle, but I end up covering quite a lot of that in the floral pieces, which is totally fine, but, it'd be nice to see more of it. So it takes me a little bit of time to lay these all out because, of course, I want to try and get it just right. I want, an even spread of the florals, and I want to try and get the colours spread around, and I still want a few leaves in there. So once I have a play and put these all the way around, I will then, of course, glue them all down. Now, most of them will be glued flat to the page because you may have noticed that I popped the circle up on foam. So the flowers that are sitting on top of the circle, I will also just glue those flat because they're kind of already on a dimension by being up on the foam circle, on the whole circle that's on foam. You know what I mean. The photos themselves, I've also stuck those flat because, again, same reason, the whole circle is up. So the photos kind of already feel like they're up a little bit. So, as you can see, I've basically filled the whole way around the circle, but of course I've left the gap where my two photos are going. Now, in Melissa Vining's example, she actually fills the whole way around and puts her photo more central. I did this for two reasons. One, I have two photos and needed a bit more space to fit them in, and the other because I was seriously running out of flowers and only tended to have green leafy foliage left. Now, green leafy foliage is beautiful, but I really do want it dispersed between the actual florally bits as well. So now I'm going to go ahead and glue all of these down. Surprisingly quick, now I've done the hard work of actually laying them all out. I know where they need to go, so I can just kind of pull up one or two at a time, dab on a bit of glue, and away we go, which is really cool. I must admit it did take me a little bit of time to play with this. I played with it even prior to putting it on camera because I could not decide which side of the paper to use. So this side is obviously, as you can see, the beautiful geometric, but on the other side there is this beautiful washed blue, and it was stunning, but it was a completely different feel to the layout. So the other side was way more soft and pastel-y, and the whole layout would have totally worked like that, but I just decided to go a little bit more grungy, I guess, kind of because of the outfit I'm wearing in the photo. It definitely ties in really well with the geometric colours and the colours that are on this side of the paper, but it really was a tough call for me. I could not decide if I wanted blue on blue, which is exactly what this would be but flipped to the other side of the paper, or originally I thought I would use the blue wash as the 12 by 12 in the background and put the circle on the front. But anyway, after playing around with it, I decided this was the way to go. And I actually used, if you are from Australia and you buy the Kaiser Craft albums, they come with pieces of white paper inside each of the pockets. But the white paper's really flimsy and not that great, let's be honest. And it's also not 12 by 12 size. It kind of has a branding strip on one of the sides, but it's all plain white, so it's not labeled. So you either have to cut it to size yourself, but then the pockets are too big, or you need to leave it the size it is. It's all just a bit awkward. So I actually used one of those as my 12 by 12 in the background, and you can even see from looking at this how thin it is, because you can actually see the geometric print sort of really lightly showing through underneath that white paper, which I love. I think that is so cool that you can see the pattern sort of still there. Normally I would gut a piece of paper that I'm using as a border so as to not waste it, but in this case I just thought it looked so cool to have that sort of vague outline showing through the white paper. Then, because of all the floral, I'm not going to do too much ephemera, but it certainly needs something else to sort of help tie it together. But yeah, not too much, because the floral is a big thing in itself, and then it's got the 2 photos, and then I'll also put on a title. So I do want to use a few of the stickers from the Vicky Bouton sticker set. So many different collections here, because I've got the piece of paper is Heidi Swap Old School, the floral piece is a Jen Hatfield, and then right now I'm using the Vicky Bouton sticker sheet. So many different collections tying in together for making this one. And then I'm going to pull out the thickers and pop on my title. And I decided to do my title all the way around in a circle, sort of around the edge of that circle, sort of mirroring where the stitching would be. Just because I wanted to. Now, I did have a little bit of a play with this title. These stickers I adore, and usually you don't want that much punctuation, but these ones have 0 punctuation, and I really needed at least a comma, an exclamation mark, a something to make my title have the punch I wanted it to. But anywho, we're moving on. We don't need to be punctuated correctly. I was trying to turn that into punctuation into an adjective. I don't know if you can do that. Punctuatedly. No, anyway, moving on. I was trying to punctuate my title correctly, but it's fine. I kind of wanted to do sold moving time, but anyway, it just says sold moving time now. It's fine. I'm moving on. And then a few Heidi Swap Color Shine sprinkles in gold because I love it. And I am totally done, and I am stoked with how this one turned out. It is so fun, it is so pretty, and I think it is definitely one I'm going to pull out again in the future, especially on like a fussy cut 12 by 12 piece of paper to go all the way around. Divine. Cannot wait. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye, everyone.